ዜማ ዓለም የሙዚቃ ፕሮግራማችን ነው። ፕሮግራማችን ተጀምሯል።
I was interested in the instrument and quickly my father decided to let me join.
Prepare for concerts and recitals. How do you choose your repertoires?
Not only helping me develop how to play my instrument, but also the mindset. And I realized that the thing that's keeping me from going my way is just silly things like feeling like you're not good enough or in a way make music out of it, which is for me really impressive.
How do you feel about the current classical music?
Yeah, just to try to do different things, but still with classical music. People have never heard before and do something people have never heard before or seen before.
ሰላም ውድ ተመልካቾቼ እንዴት ናችሁ? ይህ ሙዳ ኢንተርቴይንመንት ከአሻም ቲቪ ጋር በመተባበር የሚያቀርብላችሁ ዜማ አለም የሙዚቃ ፕሮግራማችን ነው። ፕሮግራማችን ተጀምሯል። ብርክቲ ነኝ፣ አብራችሁን ቆዩ። የዛሬ የዜማ አለም እንግዳይ የምትሆነው አኒታ ፍሪትዝ ትባላለች። ታዋቂ ኦስትሪያዊ ቫዮሊኒስት ነች። ከሷ ጋር እንግዲህ ስለ ቫዮሊንና ስለ ኮንቴምፖራሪ ክላሲካል ሙዚቃ ጥሩ ቆይታ አድርጋለሁ። አኔት እዚህ መታ በአዲስ አበባ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ያሬድ የሙዚቃ ትምህርት ቤት ኮንሰርቷንም ማቅረባ ነበረ። ከሷ ጋር ጥሩ ቆይታ ይኖረናል። በመሃል ደግሞ ቆንጆ ቆንጆ ሙዚቃዎቿን ጋብዛችኋለሁ። መልካም ቆይታ። Thank you Annette for having us and to be here.
Annette እንግዳይ ስለሆንሽ በጣም አመሰግናለሁ። መጀመሪያ ሙዚቀኛ ወይም ቫዮሊኒስት ለመሆን ያነሳሳሽ ነገር ምን ነበር? ከሱን ጀምር።
Studying music.
So I think when I was a child, I think my parents, of course, played a role in me picking an instrument. They're both musicians. I grew up in a very in a family full of musicians.
ልጅ ያለው ነው የጀመርኩት። ለዚህ ደግሞ የቤተሰቦቼ ሙዚቀኛ መሆን እኔንም ሙዚቀኛ እንድሆን ረድቶኛል። የሚገርምሽ ቤተሰቦቼ ብቻ ሳይሆኑ ዘመዶቼም ጭምር ሙዚቀኞች ናቸው። ስለዚህ ለኔ ሁሉ ጊዜ የክላሲካል ሙዚቃን መስማት የተለመደ ነገር ነበር። ብዙም እርግጠኛ አይደለሁም፣ ግን ቫዮሊንን የጀመርኩት ወንድሜን አይቼ ነው። አባቴ ያስተምረው ነበር። ከዛም የመማር ፍላጎት በጣም ስለነበረኝ አባቴ እኔንም ያስተምረኝ ጀመር። ከዛ ግን እኔ ብቻ ነበርኩ የገፋውበት፣ ወንድሜ ተዋው። ከዛን እያለ የበለጠ ጥሩ እየሆንኩ ሄድኩኝ። ከዛም የተለያዩ የሙዚቃ ትምህርት ቤቶች ውስጥ ገብቼ ተማርኩ። ከዛም ዩኒቨርሲቲ ገብቼ ተማርኩ። ያው እዚህ ለመድረስ በቃው።
How I started, and yeah, then of course it just developed. I loved the instrument. It was nice for me to play. I learned really quickly, and yeah, I joined different music schools. From there, it's just continued going to the university, and yeah, one step after another brought me to here.
Okay. So who are some musicians or violinists that inspire you to play?
Okay.
ባንቺ ሙዚቃ ሙያ ላይ ጉልህ ተጽዕኖ ያላቸው ወይም ያጫወት ስታይልሽን በተለየ መልኩ ቀርጸውኛል ብለሽ የምታስቢያቸው ሙዚቀኞች ወይም ቫዮሊኒስቶች እነማን ናቸው?
That's a hard question, but of course there are people who inspired me, especially my teachers. I mean, with teachers, you spend a lot of time with them and they help you a lot. So
ትንሽ ከበድ ያለ ጥያቄ ነው፣ ግን እኔ እዚህ እንድደርስ በመጀመሪያ መምህሮቼ ብዙ ነገር አድርገውልኛል። በተለይ በቴክኒካል ችሎታዬ ለማዳበር በተለያዩ ነገሮች ቀርጸውኛል ብዬ አስባለሁ። ብዙ ጊዜን የማሳልፈው ከነሱ ጋር ስለሆነ በተለይ አንድ መምህሬ ነበር። ከርሱ ጋር እንደ ማስተርስ ክላስ ወስጄ ነበር። እሱ ቫዮሊንን በደንብ መጫወት እንድችል ብቻ ሳይሆን ይረዳኝ እንዴት መድረክ ላይ በመጫወትበት ጊዜ በራስ መተማመንን እንዳዳብር ጭምር ነበር። በተለይ እንደምታውቂው ፍርሃት አለ እና እሱ ፍርሃቴን አስወግጄ እንድጫወት ለተመልካቾቼ መጫወት ባለብኝ መልክ እንድጫወት ሙዚቃን በደንብ እንድገልጸው ወይም ኤክስፕረስ እንዳደርገው ረድቶኛል። ያው ዛሬ ላለሁበት ደረጃ መምህራኖቼ ትልቅ አበርክቶ አላቸው።
to resolve problems and find a way that you're able to be on stage and feel nervosity but still be able to show the things you want to show to the people and do the things you want to do with music and speak with the music and perform in the way you enjoy. So this was really nice, and I think my teachers had a big role in developing who I am today.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. So can you describe us maybe a pivotal moment or
በጣም ጥሩ። በሙዚቃ ሙያሽ ትልቅ ለውጥ አመጣውበት የምትዩ ጊዜ አለ?
constantly impacted your music as a profession, musical development?
Yeah, one of these moments that changed a lot, not only for me in playing, but as a person, was maybe when I during my studies, often you feel like you're not good enough, or you question if you should even go on playing an instrument. So I was at the level where I was really thinking of, is this my way or the road I want to go.
ባስተሳሰብም በሙያም ትልቅ ለውጥ አገኘሁበት የምለው ጊዜ ቫዮሊንን ማጥናት ወይም መማር የጀመርኩበትን ጊዜ ላይ ነው። የተለያዩ ሐሳቦች ይመጣሉ። እኔም መሳሪያውን ለመጫወት በቂ ነኝ ወይም ልቀጥልበት አልቀጥልበት ትክክለኛ መንገድ ላይ ነኝ እና ብዙ ሐሳቦች ይመጡብኝ ነበር። ግን መጨረሻ ላይ ሁሉም ነገር ያስተሳሰብ ውጤት መሆኑን ገባኝ። የኔ ቫዮሊን መጫወት ብቻ ሳይሆን አስተሳሰቤ ላይም ለውጥ ከሌለና እችላለሁ ብዬ ካላሰብኩ ለውጥ እንደማላመጣ ገባኝ። ከዛ በኋላ ነው ሁሉም ነገሮች እችላለሁ ብዬ ሳስብ ነገሮች ሁሉ ተቀየሩ። በጣም የምወደው ነገር እስከሆነ ድረስ ፍርሃትና ብቁ አይደለም ብሎ ማሰብ ሌሎችን ማየት በጣም ትንሽ ነገር መሆኑ ገባኝ። ዋናው ነገር ራሴንና ሙዚቃውን መግለጽ በዛ ውስጥ መደሰት ነው። በዚህ ሙያ ውስጥ ብዙ ሰዎች ይገጥሙኛል። ካንቺ የበለጡ ብዙ ሰዎች አሉ። ከነሱ መማር ነው እንጂ ያለብሽ ራስሽን ማሳነስ አይደለም። ልክ እንደዚህ አይነት ስሜት ሲሰማኝ እዛ መምህሬ ጋር ነው እምሄደው። እናም እሱ ከሚበልጡኝ ሰዎች መማርና ራሴን ለበለጠ ነገር ማብቃት እንዳለብኝ ነው የሚነግረኝ። ደግሞም በጣም ጠቅሞኛል። በመማርበት ጊዜ ጠንካራ ሆኜ እንድቀጥል ያደረገኝ እሱ ነው። ሙዚቃን በደንብ እንድወደው እኔ ራሴን እንዳውቅ ረድቶኛል። አስተሳሰቤን ማስተካከል
also has to do with one of the teachers. He gave me a really good tip to, so for instance, if I meet a person where I'm like, oh my god, they play so good, or I feel uncomfortable because I feel like I'm not good enough, I go directly to this person and I talk to this person and I ask myself, okay, why am I imitated by this person? And if I have the impression it's because this person can do these and these techniques so well and I can't, then I say, I can't yet. And if it's important for me to learn, then let's learn it. Ask the person, how do you do this? And what do you do? What can I change? Can you help me? So instead of feeling like, oh, just stop, or it's not worth going there, ask yourself, okay, if I want to become this person, how do I do it? And in the end, you never want to become this person, but you suddenly don't have this pressure anymore that you're not good enough, or that it's not worth going on. You just ask yourself and say, okay, let's go, let's do something. And this changed a lot. And I think this is also the reason why I continued, and I feel stronger than during my studies. And it was the reason why I was able to find the things that I love in music and the repertoire that I love, and I know very, very well what I can do really, really good, and show these things.
Okay, that's great. That's great. What piece of music?
ከተጫወትሻቸው ሙዚቃዎች ውስጥ የትኛው ላንቺ ስሜት ሰጥቶኛል ብለሽ ታስቢያለሽ? ለምን?
That's a tricky question. It's really tricky because so many pieces and so many compositions are, amazing, not only in classical music, but in general. But if I stay in classical music and if I go to contemporary music,
ያኔ ከባድ ነው። ምክንያቱም ብዙ ናቸው። ብዙ ታላላቅ የሙዚቃ ድርሰቶችና ደራሲዎች አሉ። ለመምረጥ ይከብዳል። በተለይ ኮንቴምፖራሪ ማርክ ሃምበር የተባለውን ኮምፖዘር ድርሰቶች ወዳቸዋለሁ። ፈረንሳዊ ነው፣ ግን የኖረው ጀርመን ውስጥ ነው። የወደድኩበትን ምክንያት ደግሞ ከተለያዩ የሚረብሹ ከሚመስሉ ድምጾች ውስጥ የሚገርም ሙዚቃ መስራቱ ነበር። ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ የሰማሁት ጊዜ በጣም ገርሞኝ ነበር። ካቀረብኩት ኮንሰርት ደግሞ ኢዛኢ የተባለ ሙዚቀኛ ድርሰቶች እወዳቸዋለሁ። ከቀድሞ የሙዚቃ ደራሲዎች ደግሞ የባ ድርሰቶችን እወዳቸዋለሁ። በአጠቃላይ እኔ ይህን ማለት ይከብደኛል፣ ምክንያቱም በጣም ብዙ የምወዳቸው የሙዚቃ ድርሰቶች አሉ፣ የማልወዳቸውም አሉ።
In a way make music out of it, which is for me really impressive, and I heard the whole concert with his pieces, and it was one of these concerts where you had the impression like it was over in 5 minutes, because you just sat there and enjoyed, and this is something which is totally new for me, and I was really surprised. And then, but of course, like from the concert I just did, I love playing Isaïe, his music. There's so many good pieces. Also, I mean these old compositions, Bach and. I enjoy it most if I can also combine old and new, and play with pieces. So it's hard for me to say like this is my favorite composer, because many composers have pieces that I like, but there are also many pieces that I maybe don't like.
What about from Austrian?
ከኦስትሪያ ሙዚቀኞችስ?
Austrian composers. Oh, yeah, that's a tricky situation now. Austrian composers. So if I'm very truthful, I don't visit concerts where they play like Mozart or these things.
Okay.
ከኦስትሪያ ሙዚቀኞች እውነት ለመናገር አሁን ብዙም የሞዛርት ሙዚቃ ያለባቸውን ኮንሰርቶች አልሳተፍም። ሙዚቀኞቹን በጣም ወዳቸዋለሁ። ትልቅ የሙዚቃ ሊቅ ነው። ግን በጣም ብዙ የሙዚቃ ደራሲያን አሉ። ግን ሁልጊዜ ስለ ኦስትሪያ ሲነሳ ሞዛርት ብቻ ነው የሚባለው። ሁሉም ሞዛርትን ይጫወታል። ግን እኔ የሚያስደስተኝ ነገር ብቻ ነው የምፈልገው። ለመማር የተለያዩ ቴክኒኮችን ለማዳበር ሞዛርትን ተጫውቻለሁ። ከዛ በኋላ ግን ለኔ ብዙ ታላላቅ የሙዚቃ ደራሲያን አሉ። አዳዲስ ነገሮችን ማምጣት፣ አዳዲስ ሙዚቃዎችን መስራት ነው የምፈልገው። በተለይ ከቅርብ ጊዜ ከተሰሩት ሙዚቃዎች። ስለዚህ ኮንሰርት ሳቀርብ ብዙ ጊዜ ሞዛርት ምርጫዬ አይደለም። ለምሳሌ ኮንሰርቶች ላይ የቫና ፒሊካንን ሙዚቃዎች እጫወታቸዋለሁ። ሙዚቃዎቹን ብቻ ሳይሆን እንደ ሰው ያለውንም ስብዕና እወደዋለሁ።
of playing this music. So yeah, this kind of, and you need to, during your studies, you need to play Mozart a lot. Everywhere you go, you need to play Mozart violin concertos and things like this. I understand why, that's totally okay, but for me, there's so many other great composers that I really enjoy and that bring new things, new sounds and variety to the repertoire. So probably not my favorite composer. Yeah. Other Austrian composers, yeah. In my concert, I played a piece from Werner Pirchner. I like him as a person. I think the piece I played is the only piece for a violin solo. There are many other pieces, and I like him as a person because, the way he lived and the things he did, and it's amazing.
የቅርብ ጊዜ ኮምፖዘር ነው?
He died. He already died.
Okay.
I don't know when, but I think it was in the early 2000s.
አው ግን ካልተሳሳትኩ እንደ አውሮፓውያኑ አቆጣጠር 2000 ላይ ነው በሞት ያጣ ነው። ኦስትሪያ ውስጥ ብዙ ሰው ያውቀዋል። ምክንያቱም ብዙ ሙዚቃዎችን ከነበሩበት የተለመደ ያጫወት ስልት ወደ ተለየ ያጫወት ስልት ሙዚቃን ያሳደገ ኮምፖዘር ነው። ያው ሙዚቃዎችን ስትደርሺ በአድማጭ ዘንድ ምን አይነት ስሜት ይኖረዋል ብለሽ ማሰብ አለብሽ። ያንን የምትፈልጊው ስሜት አድማጮችሽ ላይ ስታገኝ ነው የዛን ሙዚቃ ኃይል የምትረጂው። ሙዚቃ ከስሜት ጋር የተያያዘ ነገር ነው።
If that's the thing you want to, if that's the emotion you want to get, that they get angry, then great. So it's a very powerful tool with music because it goes directly to your emotions.
So how do you approach
የተለያዩ ሙዚቃዎችን ስታቀርቢ እንዴት ነው የሙዚቃውን ስሜት የምትገልጪው?
How do you express it? How do you interpret it? What's your approach on that?
I think it also depends on if I already knew the piece from, like, if I have listened to it. Often in contemporary
ያው
music,
እሱ እንደ ሙዚቃው ይለያያል። ቀድሜ የሰራውት ሙዚቃ ከሆነ ችግር የለውም። ግን በኮንቴምፖራሪ ሙዚቃዎች ብዙ ጊዜ ላይቭ ነው ወይም መድረክ ላይ ብቻ ነው የሚቀርቡት። እሱ ደግሞ የራስሽ ስሜት በሙዚቃ ለመግለጽ ጥሩ ነገር ይመስለኛል። ያው መጀመሪያ አዳዲስ ሙዚቃዎችን ሳጠና ቴክኒካል የሆነ ነገር ነው በደንብ የምንለማመደው። ብዙ ያንን ሙዚቃ እንዴት እንደምጫወተው እና እንደምገልጸው ነው የማስበው። ያው ሁል ጊዜ ብዙ ጊዜ ደጋግሞ መስራት ያስፈልጋል።
which is a great thing. So of course there's always this balance between technical practicing and then of course you also want the music to develop. If I start a piece, the first thing of course would be read it, find the fingerings and check out the technical stuff. But this also has a lot to do with the music itself, because to find the right techniques and things, in my mind I need to have an idea what musically I want to express. If I don't know what I want to do, or if I don't have an idea of what sound I want to make and how I want to shape the music, probably I will get to a point where technically it's okay, but there's something missing. So I always try to find first the thing I want to express, and then ask myself, okay, and technically, how do I do this? And what can I do with it? How do I practice it? So, yeah. And then practice. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this never stops.
Yeah, of course.
አዎ እውነት ነው። ኮንሰርቶች ስታዘጋጂ ሙዚቃዎችሽን የምትመርጪው እንዴት ነው?
So if it's totally my choice, there are different things I think about. So one important thing is I need to be aware of what kind of pieces fit.
ያው የኔ ምርጫ ከሆነ ከኔ ያጫዋወት ስልት ወይም ስታይል ጋር የትኛው ይሄዳል ብዬ ነው የማስበው። ያው ቀደም እንደነገርኩሽ ሞዛርትን አልመርጠውም። ከዛ ደግሞ የምወዳቸውን ሙዚቃዎች ብቻ ሳይሆን ለአድማጭ ምን የተለየ ነገር መስጠት አለብኝ ብዬ አስባለሁ። ስለዚህ ለሙሉ ኮንሰርቱ ፕላን አወጣለሁ እና በመሄድባቸው ቦታዎች ህዝቡ ምን አይነት ሙዚቃን ይወዳል ብዬ ጥናት አደርጋለሁ። ከዛ ሁሉም ነገር ጥሩ ይሆናል ማለት ነው።
Thing of my favorite pieces, there needs to be more. So I want to, when I play a concert, there's something I want to give to the audience, or I want to, like a red, how do you call it, like a theme for the whole concert. And if you have a theme or something like this, then of course again the repertoire gets limited. You need to find the right pieces that fit the theme. Or sometimes it's the other way around. I just know these pieces, they fit totally, they are just perfect together, and I love to play them. How can I? What's the thing that's they have in common, or what do I want to express with them? And then I can add other pieces. And in the end, it's also much research to search for new pieces. Or I often ask people if they know a composer, a piece, if they have played something they really enjoyed, do some research, and in the end, I think it always works that you get a program and you like it and it fits you, and it also represents something, or it tells a story or tells something. There is meaning behind it.
Okay, great. How do you feel about the current classical music?
በአሁኑ ጊዜ ስለሚሰሩ የክላሲካል ሙዚቃዎች ምን ትያለሽ? በጣም ብዙ ነገሮች እንደተቀየሩ ይሰማኛል። ለወደፊት ምን ደረጃ ላይ የሚደርስ ይመስልሻል?
Its future. What do you imagine when you think about classical music in the present times and for the future? Yeah.
I think that classical music still has an important role, and I know that
አሁን የክላሲካል ሙዚቃ ትልቅ ቦታ አለው። በአብዛኞቹ የኮንሰርት አዘጋጆች የሚቸገሩት ነገር ተመልካችን ማጣት ነው። በተለይ በብዛት ወጣቶች ብዙ ፍላጎት የላቸውም፣ ብዙ የሚያስረዳቸውም ይፈልጋሉ። በተመልካችና በሙዚቀኛው መካከል ትልቅ ክፍተት አለ። ይህንን ክፍተት ለመሙላት ደግሞ የተለያዩ ነገሮች መሞከር ያስፈልጋል። ለዛም ነው በተለያየ መልኩ የክላሲካል ሙዚቃን መጫወት የጀመርኩት። ለምሳሌ ትንሽ ኮንሰርት ሆኖ ወደ 40 ተመልካች ሊሆን ይችላል። ከዛ ግን ከነሱ ጋር አወራለሁ፣ ጫወታለሁ።
Could be a problem. For instance, I see it by myself. The concerts I visit, of course, I go to these classical big concert hall and I enjoy. But sometimes I also miss. For instance, I have the impression that there's a big space between the audience and the musicians. So they are not you go to the concert, you sit down, you clap, and you go back home. And when I play a concert, I love to talk to the people and afterwards stay there and be open for questions or communicate so that the distance gets smaller. You get to know the audience, or or if it's in a room that just feels nice, where you have the impression that you can relax. So it's about the format or the concept of where and how you make a concert. Maybe, or my thing that I do is to try to do different things, but still with classical music. And so far, I'm really happy with it. And I get the impression that people are really open to classical music and they enjoy doing these things in a different way or in a different setting. Yeah. And that's also why I started these hiking concerts in Austria, because you have it's about 40 people or something like this. It's a small audience, but you are able to talk to them, you are able to walk with them. You can show them new pieces or show them something they've never heard before, and they are interested. And then they also, during hiking, they talk to. Yeah, in the end, you get the impression that you got to know all of them.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their interest will be developed too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ያው ይሄ ደግሞ ሙዚቃውን እንዲወዱት ያደርጋቸዋል አይደል?
Go there with an open mind, because it's not that common to have a concert like an open air and walking and
ብዙ ጊዜ የክላሲካል ኮንሰርቶች ውጪ ላይ አልተለመዱም። ለነሱም ያልተጠበቀ ነገር ስታደርጊላቸው ደስ ይላቸዋል እና የትኛውንም ሙዚቃ ለመስማት ፈቃደኛ ይሆኑልሻል። ያው ግን ለምሳሌ የሞዛርት ሙዚቃን ለሚጠብቅ ተመልካች ኮንቴምፖራሪ ሙዚቃ ብትጫወችለት አይወዱትም። ምንም ላልጠበቀው ተመልካች ግን ስትጫወችላቸው ደስ ብሏቸው ያዳምጡሻል። ከነሱም ብዙ የመማራቸው ነገሮች አሉ። ውጤታማም ነው።
And you talk to them and you say, you will hear something maybe you've never heard before, and it's also okay if you don't like it. That's totally fine. But I will play it and let's see what happens. They're like, okay, I can work with that. And I love it. When I have audiences like this, that's amazing for me.
That's great. So what's your advice for young aspiring violinists?
ለወጣት ቫዮሊኒስቶችስ ምን ትመክሪያለሽ?
Way of practicing, maybe when you perform, and anything you want to
Wow, that's hard
to express.
Maybe if I think of myself, I would have loved to hear from someone, take your time. Because there's always so much pressure and you need to learn this and this and this and you're never good enough.
ጊዜ ውሰዱ ነው እምለው። ያው ሁል ጊዜ ጫና አለ። ይህንን ማወቅ አለብኝ፣ ያንን ማወቅ አለብኝ ትያለሽ። ማወቅ ያለብሽ ነገር ብዙ እንደሆነ ይሰማሻል። ሁል ጊዜ ፕራክቲስ ካደረግሽ ወይም ከተለማመድሽው ሁሉን ነገር ይደረስበታል። በተለይ ወጣት እያለሁ ሙዚቃን በደንብ እየቻልኩት ቴክኒካል ነገሮችን ማጥናት እቸገር ነበር። እናም መምህሬ ብዙ ጊዜ ቴክኒካል ጥናቶች ላይ እንዳሳልፍ ይነግረኝ ነበር። እንደው ምን አለኝ መሰለሽ፣ ቴክኒክ ሙዚቃን ከታጠረ ነገር ውስጥ ነፃ እንደሚያወጣ ነው አለኝ። ቴክኒኩን በደንብ እስከቻልሽ ድረስ ነፃ ሆነሽ መጫወት ትችያለሽ። ምንም የሚገድብሽ ነገር አይኖርም እንደማለት ነው። ቴክኒክ የሙዚቃ ኤክስፕሬሽን የምንለው ሙዚቃን የምንገልጽበት መንገድ ሁለቱም አስፈላጊ ናቸው። እኔ እንደውም የምመርጠው ችሎታን ለማሳየት ብቻ ከሚሰሩ ኮንሰርቶች ይልቅ እምደሰትባቸው ስሜት የማይባቸውን ነው።
Translated into English, but he told me something like you need technique to get the music out of its cage. So in a way, the things I want to express, the more technique I have, the more possibilities I get to speak with music, and I can get the music out of the cage. And this was for me a really, really nice thing, because he also told me technique is the thing you can learn. So if you're, I don't know, 17 and you're not at the same technique level than others, don't give up. Practice. That's the thing you can learn. I think it's more harder to do it the other way around. If you don't feel the music and you don't know how to speak with music, you can be excellent technical, but in a way it gets boring. And yeah, and at some point others will learn the technique and have the musical expressions, and they will be more interesting. Or I prefer to go to concerts where people are not just about technique and they play perfect. I want to be touched and be inspired, or see that they enjoy and that they want to speak with music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe something like this.
Okay, yeah, it's a great advice actually.
Yeah.
You had a great concert yesterday.
ትናንት ቆንጆ ኮንሰርት አቅርበሽልን ነበር። ኢትዮጵያ እንዴት አገኘሻት? እዚህ ኮንሰርትሽን በማቅረብሽ ምን ተሰማሽ?
How do you get it? You know, how do you get Ethiopia? How do you feel about performing in here, giving workshop in here? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, actually it was a really, really great experience for me. Sadly, it was so short. I would have loved to stay longer. Maybe there's another time.
Okay, yeah, hopefully.
Let's hope. Yeah. Also, I mean, I've stayed in Tanzania.
በጣም ደስ የሚል ስሜት ነው የተሰማኝ። ምንም እንኳን አጭር ጊዜ ቢሆንም ሁሉም ጥሩ ነው። ታንዛኒያ ጥሩ ጊዜ አሳልፍ ያለው ከዩኒቨርሲቲዎችም ጋር የነበረን ጊዜ ጥሩ ነበር። የተለያየ የማስተማር መንገዶች አሉ። ብዙ ያገኘዋቸው ዕውቀቶችም አሉ። እዚህ መጥቼ ለአድማጭ አዲስ ነገርን ማቅረቤ ሁሉም በጥሩ ስሜት መቀበላቸው በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል።
Different, and there are different ways, and still in the end the goal is to just make music and have great musicians, and yeah, and also I feel, yeah, maybe I feel I go back home and have the feeling that I'm really grateful for the opportunities I get and the way the things I'm able to do. It's not like I realize that it's not something everyone can do, and that it's a really, really great experience and opportunity. And yeah, the way people here feel about music, it's just amazing. It's really amazing to come here with pieces people have never heard before and do something people have never heard before or seen before. But still have the impression like they're so open-minded and they just enjoy because it's music, and no one thinks about if it was perfect or if my technique is you know, like it's, you can just enjoy, and you go back to the things you maybe lost during the university, the thing music is about. And that you just enjoy it and love it, and no one is judging whether your intonation was good for the whole concert. These things that are really stupid because no one will play perfect, and there will always happen some mistakes. But somehow everyone is just crazy about getting better and being perfect, and this was for me the greatest experience here, to leave these things behind, go here, present something totally new, have an audience that is so open-minded, and just making music.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm really, really grateful.
Great, Anita. We enjoyed it very much as well. And everybody.
እኛም በጣም እናመሰግናለን አኔት። ሁሉም ኮንሰርቱን በጣም ወዶት ነበር። ሌላ የምትጨምሪው የቀረ ነገር ካለ እድል ልስጥ።
Your performance. Yeah,
really nice.
It was amazing. And if there is anything not mentioned you want to talk about, you are most welcome. Something.
Yeah, it's
በጣም
it's
ደስ
just a
ይላል።
really, really nice
ሀገራችሁም
experience.
በጣም ነው
I
የምታምረው።
also love the country here. It's beautiful.
Okay. Thank you so much. እሺ ውድ ተመልካቾቼ ለዛሬ ያቀረብኩላችሁ ፕሮግራም ይሄንን ይመስላል። በሚቀጥለው ሳምንት ደግሞ በሌላ ፕሮግራም እንገናኛለን። አስተያየት ካላችሁ ከታች በምታዩት አድራሻ አድርሱን። መልካም ጊዜ